What's going on? Robert here, Drink, Think, Relax, back in the office. We had a wonderful weekend, had a 100-person wedding we took care of, myself and two former coworkers that I brought out of retirement to sling some drinks, a couple specialty cocktails, some hand-selected wines, and a locally made beer. Made for a great night with some amazing people at a really gem of a venue here locally in the Lehigh Valley, specifically over in Allentown. So I wanted to go ahead and detail the Groom's cocktail. It was aptly named the Sweet Avenue by the groom and the bride. It was a rye whiskey cocktail, a iteration of something that I had made for the groom over the years and during my tenure at the restaurant in Lehigh Valley that I ran. And during that time, I used to do different versions of Manhattans and Old Fashions and different whiskey drinks that included some really unique and sometimes bold, expressive Italian spirits. So this one specifically is going to be a rye-bound cocktail with two different Italian spirits and then two types of bitters just served on the rocks. So here we have the Resurgent Rye coming right here from Pennsylvania. So the cocktail itself had 2 ounces of the rye. And that is a straight rye. And then you have a 1/2 ounce each of the 2 Italian spirits. This is a 1 ounce part of the jigger here, so I'll use a 1/2 ounce of the Montenegro, and then the 1/2 ounce of the Luxardo Maraschino liqueur. A couple dashes each. We have the Woodford barrel-aged cherry bitters, and then Aztec chocolate bitters. That will then just get some ice. When you're shaking, or in this case, stirring a cocktail, you want the ice to come just above the level of the liquid. The reason for that is, the reason why you're icing a cocktail is for dilution. What you don't want to do is have too little ice in the way that the liquid itself that's at room temperature will overpower or effectively melt the ice too quickly, which will end you with a watered down drink. Instead, you want to chill the cocktail equally, but also quickly. So you'll stir this cocktail. And what I like to do is say you stir the cocktail until the outside of the vessel you're stirring it in has a good chill to it, perhaps has started to have some condensation. And notice that I'm not shaking the ice around. What I'm doing is I'm taking the back of the spoon and I'm running around the bevel of the glass, in that it creates somewhat of like a tornado effect. What this is doing, it's not aerating, which is what happens when you shake a cocktail, the liquid. The liquid itself, when, as you'll see, I strain it, it will come out the same texture as it did from the bottle. And so here is the Sweet Avenue. During the night, we did serve it on the rocks, as it was a wedding, and we didn't want people walking around with just shots of straight booze. So we had some ice, because it's classy. Cheers. So it was just a really lovely winter cocktail. The spice notes coming from the Resurgent Rye paired up with the Woodford barrel-aged bitters, the slight bitter and sweetness, and the cola coming through that vanilla backbone, and then this cherry kind of connection from the Luxardo Maraschino liqueur and barrel-aged cherry bitters. The chocolate comes in almost like as like a powdery cocoa essence in there to kind of break it through. It's just a really well-crafted cocktail. We served it with an Amarena cherry, but that evening we used every single one of our cherries, as it was an extremely popular drink. If you need any beverage consulting, any private events locally, I do some traveling as well. I'm happy to have the conversation with you, or if you just had some questions or needed some pointers about a wine dinner coming up and you're thinking about what should I serve, how much do I need, where do I get it, feel free to reach out. Again, Robert from Drink, Think, Relax. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about the cocktail, comment below. Cheers.